It's a brother
and a sister.
It's a brother and a sister.
Brother and a sister. Yo, brother. Yo, sister.
Yo, brother.
Get some of this water. Cheers.
Brother and a sister. Okay.
You know, next in South Africa, we need to be sponsored by water.
Who owns a water thing?
Whoever it is, we need them.
Amanzi.
Amanzi.
Mm.
Amanzi!
I don't know. I picture like Amanzi. You know, like the liquid fruit ads. Have you seen those liquid fruit ads?
Which
Fridge
one?
is like nothing on it. Like in my son.
Gosh, that's
like,
the best.
Amanzi.
Kamazi
Like,
says that every time we drink that juice in my house, refreshes like nothing on it.
Yeah.
And I'm finished every time.
I'm practicing
For?
voice acting.
That's good.
I think.
It's soon though, that for you.
You think so?
Yes. Do voices.
Go do the thing.
Yeah,
Backflips,
do
do
yeah,
jump,
yeah.
Maggie, jump.
Do a voice.
No, I can't do no voices.
See?
No.
Now do one that's angry.
In a world where niggas be acting now, where niggas be misbehaving.
Very good.
Welcome back
Very
to
good.
Compton Underground.
Wow.
The video game.
I'm blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm very well, and yourself?
I'm good.
Chilling.
How's your weekend?
Weekend was very good.
Yeah.
Whole week has been pretty nice, but my weekend was very cool. Because I finally realized, you know, when you learn something new that you hate,
Okay.
you know, and it's like, now I'll never want to do that again.
Yes.
So I don't have to stress about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to,
It's off the list.
Yeah. I have officially ruled out like club parties. I love partying, but I love house parties. House parties are the elite party, generally. I went to 2 parties. One was a house party. And then right after, I went to a club party. And
Compare and contrast.
so the reason why I went to the house party was because my homie, I was looking out for my homie. He didn't have anyone to go with. So I was just like, let me go with you. And then he was just flourishing. He was meeting everybody and just being a cool guy. So then I was like, cool. Then I got a message from these other hosts of a club.
Okay.
That like I emceed there one time. So then they were like, yo, we're doing a function. Do you want to pull up? And I was like, no. And then they're like, we're giving free chicken wings. I was like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And then I rushed over.
Even Spotify bought us with chicken wings. Thank you, Daddy Spotify.
Thank
you know exactly what we need.
Love and appreciate you, Dad. Okay, cool. So I quickly rushed over to that
Yeah.
whole, shindig. And I know so many people there, but it felt like none of us wanted to have a good time. Everyone was like being cool and like we're in a new environment. There's no one's comfortable. And then the music, the thing is with the house party, the reason why it's so much better is because someone can literally say, who's on aux? Who's the DJ here? And then things will change. Whereas if you're at a club, if you don't like that DJ, you're going to have him for another 30 to an hour, depending on how much clout that
You
DJ
can't
has.
go and say, Uncle Waffles, please play this song.
Can you just rock? I understand your thing is I'm a piano,
Yeah.
but Tyler the Creator just dropped a new album, so can you just quickly...
They don't care.
They don't give a damn.
They don't care.
So yeah, I know. I love to be at a house party. You can mingle with everything. There's food. There's usually food. Look, I know at this club party they offered me food, but it's like...
It's just more comfortable,
It's
right?
more comfortable. It's a vibe. It's
But
chill.
I think it's your generation.
Did you
What?
like, do you know how to party?
This is what I'm saying. It's your generation. We had clubs.
Uh-huh.
We had clubs that were dark and sweaty, and the music was perfect, and the sun would rise just above the DJ decks, and you'd just be like, "Oh, the music," and it would be hip hop, which I mean, I can dance to hip hop, dance hall. Oh nah. We had clubs,
Gosh.
and we didn't mind to get Zam.
Uh-huh.
Like we would dance.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have shisha pipes at that time. They weren't invented yet. So we wouldn't just be sitting with our shishas. I personally never expected a man to buy me a drink. I was just like, I'm just here for the music and for the dancing. So we had clubs.
Fair. It is very difficult.
I think it's different.
It's difficult to open up a circle when there's a shisha pipe there.
Yo.
You know, you can't really do the worm with the shisha pipe next to you.
See?
Yeah.
It'll burn you.
Okay.
I
have you ever kicked over a shisha pipe?
No, I haven't.
That thing will humble you quick.
What do you mean?
Because depending on who's thing the like who's having that shisha pipe, there's a potential for death.
Because they will fight you to the death for their shisha pipe.
Because if they can't kill their lungs because you killed the fire, they will kill you. So yeah, no.
I've only been around one person smoking a shisha pipe. And they were the most sober, calm. Even that, they were like, I'm going to have a shisha pipe.
No.
I can't believe I'm going to do it. And we were at a restaurant.
They were a shisha fiend.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
House parties, though, I loved. I loved house parties as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We had our first house parties maybe grade 7 or 8.
So young.
Yeah. Supervised. People's parents were there, but that it was in the garage and like we'd have a good time. Why is that funny? I don't understand. Where must the house party be?
No, I like, you know how funny it is.
Yeah.
Being an adult, seeing kids just party. Yeah, and you know, like listen to the music now, like the mainstream music.
Yeah.
And he's probably A minor.
Yes,
and then they're all like, they're not like us. They're not like, it's like,
But you see again,
and you're thinking these little kids just like,
we had music. Have you ever cleared out a whole garage so that everyone can stand in queues to do the Macarena together? Listen.
that is adorable.
Listen, I've lived a life.
Uh-huh.
And then once you're done with the Macarena, the only thing to do is to do the Macarena again. I loved it. That was my life.
It was a simple world. Do you have a crazy story from a house party?
Yes. I had my first kiss at a house party.
Ooh.
My first kiss. And I think it was kind of planned because we got to a part where some genre of music was playing and then the genre of music changed and then we were slow dancing, just slow dancing like this, okay? We were very innocent.
Okay.
And then people started clearing the dance floor, except us. And then he kissed me, and I'll never forget, it was Mariah Carey and Boys to Men, One Sweet Day, whenever I hear that song. And that was it at the house party. And I'll never forget that story. And he's just always in my book of my life. It was so nice.
I heard two different things.
What did you hear?
Because you're thinking it like, it was so romantic. But like, I'm looking at it from a gent's perspective.
Yeah.
Them clearing out that room, it was a plan.
Yes.
There was like 12 other gents that were like, hey, gents, okay, just gonna kiss baby and just like, share it. Hey.
We have to bleep that out.
You have to cut that
Please,
one
we
out.
have to bleep that out. Just his name. Make up another name.
Okay, this brew is gonna kiss is gonna kiss baby. Okay, sharp. After we make sure this brew kisses baby, then we all clear out, nah. And then like, it's just like the you know, like when people are like, it was magical, and then it's like the construction behind it is just like,
I don't care. If he asked his friends to do that so that he could finally have his first kiss, I mean, I think that's wonderful. I don't care.
okay.
If it takes a long time to plan the hot air balloon date and you go and you have a beautiful hot air balloon date, now I must worry that this guy woke up early so that he can come to light the fire and will the water be there?
Okay, fair. So you look at it like, yeah, he was a man with a plan.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Yes, I very much
That's
do.
a beautiful way to
And
look at
if I find out anything different about that plan,
I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna hunt you down and I'm gonna bust your
I-
kneecaps.
Have a special set of skills. Very much so. So I've been a little bit obsessed to the point that I've even been watching highlights of the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight. I know, even me. And for me, it's Mike Tyson as an icon. Grandpa used to wake up at 3:00 to watch all the fights, all the heavyweight fights, all the fights from all over the world. There was this dude, Brian Mitchell, who was a South African dude. And so we'd wake up and we'd watch, and he'd be there, you know, going like this, because he was also a boxer. And so he knew what to do as the boxers were boxing. It was adorable. It was really adorable. And that's how I grew up. So that's why I love the matches. I love the MMA. I'll do that all with you.
So that's so sick because I love watching fights. And
Yeah.
I know the feeling of like watching your favorite fight. The anxiety that you get when your favorite fighter is fighting.
You're into it.
And you're just like, every time they get hit, you're like, like you're just,
yeah.
you know, you're stressing out for them. And it's like, this person doesn't even know you exist.
So the first 2 rounds, I see, okay, he's throwing some punches. Third round, it's starting to deteriorate. And then I believe there was a point where they were both reminded, think about your contracts. Think about how much money you're going to make from this. Neither one of you wants to. It's not in the contract. You can't KO each other. You can't. This is an un-KOable situation. So go in there and just do it right.
Okay. So you definitely think it was rigged.
Yes.
Fair. I definitely do think it was rigged, but I think thank God it was rigged. Because I'm not strong enough to watch some 20-something-year-old white boy knock out Mike Tyson.
But imagine if Mike Tyson knocked out
Jake Paul is pregnant now. I strike again, big boy. It might not have been your ear.
Oh, listen, do you know how many times I had to practice that it's not Sean Paul who was fighting? It's Jake Paul who was fighting.
Paul, yes.
So it brought a lot of things into the zeitgeist. And there's this really interesting interview with like a 14-year-old kid. And she asks him about his legacy. So she's like, Mike Tyson, it's such an honor for us to have you here, you know, for people of my generation. So tell me, what do you want your legacy to be? And Mike's like, legacy? I don't give a damn about a legacy. When I'm dead, I become dust. Who cares? Legacy. Walking around thinking about legacy. I have things to do. Legacy. And this girl was such a good little presenter. She went, I've never heard it said in that way. Now we have more to think about.
Because, yeah, I know you dropped a couple F-bombs in that, right?
Oh, yeah. The second question that she asked. And then he started dropping F-bombs. And I think maybe her handlers were like, stop it now. Just stop it now. Because then, you know, the legacy of Sean Paul, Michael Jackson. Me, I love music. But the legacy of Mike Tyson comes out.
Yes.
And there's all of these great, powerful things that he does in the ring. But we must never, ever polish anybody's iconography to the point that we forget that he also used a lot of that power against the women that he was dating. He went to jail for sexual assault. You know, he at some point was an incredibly dangerous, undesirable human. And whether he's healed from that and moved on, I believe that we can move on as people. But I'm just glad that that's come out to be part of the conversation again.
Yeah, I know. Oh, like the entire thing. So
Yes.
like even the good and the bad.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. That is tough because I do like Mike.
Yeah.
And the thing is, my generation has only seen podcast Mike. You know, where he's just like, he sees like this chill old man. Like even like watching him in the ring sometimes is like, oh, yeah, kind of this guy can fight.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's just getting high. He literally has a podcast where he interviews other fighters and he's just like, yeah, life is really short when you think about it, and you know, you just gotta, you know, take the punches and just keep on moving. And then you see him in the ring, and then you're like, yo, kinda, he can. Like, I wouldn't want to go into the ring against Mike.
No, of course not.
Even at this age.
I wouldn't even want to walk here in the passage and see Mike.
But so when you say that, it is interesting, because then the conversation about, I guess, the ugly side, it's there, and you ignore it because this person is so amazing and so talented, and they're like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Or do you have to address it? Like, do you have to address it? Like, if someone makes a movie about me, I would hope they would skip some of the parts.
Okay.
The ugly parts. But
I've known you your whole life. There's mistakes. There's maybe places that you can say, I shouldn't have done this to this person. I've since apologized, XYZ. And then there's things that I think are like outright human rights violations. And I just, it's a thing I don't often want to talk about, because it's a very, very challenging thing, right? We all have musos that we love who just happen to also be asshats. And we're all debating this all the time. So I'm glad it happened in real time, so that we don't have that whole, you must respect the dead. This guy is still here. He's 58. We can talk about it and have really constructive conversations about it, not fight each other about it.
You see, that's the tough part with this discourse, because I know how it is normally, because I like watching fighting.
Yeah.
So also this past weekend, there was John Jones versus Stipe Miocic.
You can't just make up names.
I can't lie, John Jones does sound like a DC villain.
Exactly.
But
John Jones.
Jones.
Not you again.
Yeah, I know. Fair. But John Jones is the GOAT in terms of fighting. I can't even deny, he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. And every time you watch him, it's like you're watching magic. And then I never see people actually address his controversies, because he has a lot of controversies, domestic disputes, like violence, all of this, in and out of jail. Same, like, similar vibes to Mike Tyson. But like, whenever kids look up to him, and it's like, you can see like people are going up to him like, yo, please, can I get an autograph? You're my hero. You inspire me to be greater, and all of these things. High-fiving Trump at the end of the fight. And it's like,
that's fine, because they're the same.
That is a story for another day. But to see that, and then for me, it's very difficult, because I know fighting mentality. The only time they even bring up your evil controversies is during the press conferences when they're trying to sell a fight. So even domestic disputes and all of the terrible things people do, it's only used to like amplify their legacy.
Like how dangerous you are.
Yeah. Like, when
you say domestic disputes, is this you and me in the house fighting over who left the microwave on?
No.
Or is it domestic violence?
Domestic violence.
Okay.
So he
against his wife.
He hit his wife, and then during like a press conference, people will be like, this is not a good person. This is a trash human being. He hits women, what. Yeah. That's the only time they'll bring it up. And then after the fight, they're like, you see this man? I have so much respect for this man. Lose or win, this guy is the greatest guy of all time.
You see, it's really rough how we put on a pedestal people who go out of their way to hurt other people. I find that very, very challenging about our society. It's a tough thing. And that's why I mentioned what I mentioned about the politician that you mentioned. There is a specific politician in South Africa who at some point had these allegations against him, and then whether it was thrown out of court or he won or he was acquitted or whatever it was, and you can markedly see the state of domestic violence and femicide in South Africa since those days. You can see, and that makes it really hard for me. It's one of those things that I think as humans, we're never really going to get to the bottom of it, because it's a mentality, character, and mindset shift. It's not even in the hands of the law necessarily anymore.
Yeah, no, that is a tough one. But I think it's that thing that I always think where it's like we as a people have to practice, which is the one where you don't have to go through it to feel for it.
Like compassion.
Empathy.
Empathy,
yeah. I always get confused with sympathy and empathy, so I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't have to experience it to know that must suck.
For sure.
And it's that thing of like, just to have a little bit more empathy in the sense that like we hear each other's sides, we hear each other out, because I think everyone takes every accusation, every point out, every critique is taken so personally.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we just want you to address the thing so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
But then if everyone is just like, no, that doesn't exist, Mike Tyson's a different person, sure, he's a better changed man, but he did those things. Can we address those things?
And you know, we've all done things. You know, people make mistakes in addiction. People make mistakes, perhaps stealing something. People make mistakes that have an impact on other people. But I just want us to do exactly what you're saying. Have a conversation that is not a confrontation, and talk through, why is this person like this? Why are these things happening? And why are we not able to address it and fix it in South Africa? And the world.
And not to play devil's advocate, but there's also the thing of like, there's a level of patience that you have to ask for those conversations to happen.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the victims don't have any more patience because they've been patient for such a long time waiting for this thing to be addressed or whatever. And it's just like, at this point, like, that's when I'll hear things like, I'll hear statements on the internet like, it's not my job to teach men. It's not my job to make sure men that this is whatever. And then it's like,
I'm so curious. As a man, how do you take that?
I get it. And then I'm somewhat conflicted by it. Because a lot of my teachings of like, so there's the idea of fair, and then there's the idea of equity, and like the equality versus equity chat where girls need these things, guys need these things, tall people need these things, short people need those things.
Ladders.
And it's like, how do I understand to make things equitable? How will I understand what you require to make us be on a fair playing field if you're not willing to talk to me about it? You know, because I think I'm pretty easy to talk to. I try and make myself very easy to talk to. And it's like, it's not like I'm doing it in a condescending way where it's like, oh, what do you need, Nana? You want something? It's not that. It's like I want you to feel comfortable wherever you are.
Sure.
So how can we make it easier for you? Do you guys need to have, I don't know if this is an idea, but like sanitary pads to be free and
of
whatever.
Course, yes.
So conversations like that.
And when we go out for a night jog, don't jog so far in front of me that I'm kind of alone in a dark alley. Because walking on the street for you and walking on the street for me are two completely different experiences. So I love that. And I wish we could have more of those spaces where we can converse and trust each other and talk.
So that's why it's sometimes difficult, because then, and I don't like using this word safe space, because sometimes at a safe space, the real conversation doesn't come out.
Okay.
Because everyone's trying to make everyone feel okay. Yeah. And in actuality, we just need to address the thing. This person's messed up because of XYZ.
Yeah.
And we need to stop that. But
yeah,
it's tough.
You know what I'm excited about? I'm excited that there are a lot of thought leaders in this space. A lot of them coming from Gen Z experience. Because I think from a millennial experience, we have been scared of certain things for a very long time. and finally now we're able to have a voice and have, what we need to talk about, which is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And I always love it when we have a progressive conversation, because out of this, I'm going, all right, so safe space actually is a space where we can speak to each other and not fight with each other.
Yeah.
That's very important. I want to change the subject just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
The one guy was 27. I've been obsessed with this fight. And the other guy is 58.
Yeah.
So the commentary was 58 is too old to be a boxer anymore.
Yes.
I watched that documentary. He was really working hard. He was doing things with dumbbells I've never seen in my life. And he looked strong.
Yes.
This 27-year-old, whatever, he was also there. Is there such a thing as too old or such a thing as too young?
Yes, I do think there is a thing as too old and too young.
Okay.
And sometimes it's like beneficial for everyone. Are you too old to be talking to that little girl? Probably, yes. And then like, are you too young perhaps to be, not to underestimate you, but there's times where it's like, are you too young to be going out to conquer by yourself?
Sure. And I'm thinking, as I'm asking the question, there are also legal parameters.
Yeah.
So there are things that only people over the age of 18 can do.
Yes.
And that is correct.
Yes.
And then there are things that those who are under 18 have to do, like going to school and etc. And that is correct.
And to be fair, your question is, these are two grown adults, consenting adults, wanting to trap each other. So is he too old to be trapping this 20-something?
Oh, yes. You're talking about the fight, yeah.
And I think yes.
So you think he was too old?
Yes.
He shouldn't have done it, no?
I don't think he was too old to do maybe an exhibition fight, maybe to do a fight with another person his age or whatever. Maybe a Sudoku match, that's pretty fire. I don't know if Mike Tyson can, fuck up in chess, but, I want to see him rock,
It's not Sudoku. Sudoku is the worst. Yo, Sudoku.
Like, I ain't never seen Mike Tyson play checkers, but
Listen,
so,
that man has a falcon. He has many skills and many talents.
Is my point though is just like
sorry.
Sorry. My point is just like, to be fighting like sports is like, we're elevating humanity, in the sense that like, this is the peak of human conditioning right now.
Sure.
And this is a professional boxing match. So this is like, Jake Paul is in his peak of fighting, and he's like going in there with the mindset that like, I'm supposed to be able to kill my other opponent.
Right.
And it's just like, I would hate to see, if Jake Paul really went all out, to see a 20-something-year-old kill an old man.
Why do you keep using kill? They are just boxing.
No, because boxers have died in the ring before.
I know.
And it's and the mindset of a boxer, they sign consent waivers like, if I die, I die. Like, that is a professional boxing bout. Like, I'm here to kill or be killed.
So maybe that's why there was a no KO thing in the contract.
Cause hey man.
So then, have you been affected by being too young or too old for something?
I have been affected by being both actually.
Okay.
Both. There's been, it was so crazy. Like, after COVID, with the too old thing, there was a lot of things that were closed off. Like, obviously during COVID, you couldn't go out and we couldn't interact.
What's the 2-0 thing?
The 2-0?
Yeah.
Did I say 2-0?
Yes. You mean 2020?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
During 2020, there was a lot of things that were closed off.
Of course.
And I couldn't sign, like, I wanted to play basketball outside, like join clubs and stuff. And a lot of them were like, by the way, when they opened up again, I was too old for everything. They were like, there's only under 20 or under 21. And I'm like, dang, did I, like, I missed.
No way. In that small window.
Yeah, like, I was missing out on like certain things that I was like, I managed to play for a year,
Yeah.
and then I was out. There was no leagues that I could
But there's
do.
no open
And
league.
they are, but now I'm like playing with adults, and I was just like, dang, son.
But
so
you
I'm
too
out.
are an adult, my
I
sweetheart.
know, but
I'm
that's
sorry
why.
to tell you.
That's why it was like such a trip.
Umuntu omuholo. Unale ID document, and you must start thinking about your pension. Not to bring you down or anything. I'm
No,
just
it's
bringing
okay.
you to
I am
reality.
thinking about my pension. I have a retirement annuity and everything.
I get what you're saying. That's really, really challenging because it's almost a group thing that in order to be a part of this group, you have to be in a certain age range and you're not anymore.
Yeah. There was like even like job opportunities that they were like, we're trying to target the youth. Even recently, I was on the radio interviewer said we are trying to interview youth people for Youth Day. It was a Youth Day thing, and they were like, we wanted to interview you, but we needed people that are under 21 or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. I am 21, so they're like, okay, cool, that's perfect. Do you know anyone else? And all my friends' birthdays are earlier on in the year, so they're all 22, so they're not considered the youth to radio stations anymore.
Crazy.
And it's like, damn. This is my last day of being the youth, technically. Yeah.
That is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
In South Africa, I don't know if it's the youth league or according to the government, but 35 is actually the cutoff for the youth. I will give you time to laugh.
Damn. No laughing. Just
35.
35, man. Yo.
Yeah.
Okay. I still got some time.
Yeah, you still got some time. So don't worry about these other people who are discriminatory.
Sorry, Nana.
Sorry, Nana. Now I'm done with youth. Like, I get really die and I'm fine with it. I don't mind.
But you make what's the opposite of youth? Elderly. You make it look good.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to shout out to my doctors who assist me in every way for this visage. Thank you, Dr. Baba. Thank you, Dr. Bucks. In terms of being too young, I think I always had a duality, and I still do, of being quite playful and outgoing, and I love a joke, and but then I also have this very, very serious side where I'm curious about the news. I want to think about how the world works. Part of what I studied was philosophy and politics. So I have that side of me that's quite cerebral that also wants to be stimulated. So I walk into the manager's office at a place that I worked once. And there happened to be a talk radio station there. It could be anywhere in the whole world. And I told her that, look, my step-up plan for my career is that I'd like to move into talk radio eventually. So give me a chance now to do overnights. So 12 to 3 a.m., 3 to 6 a.m., where no one's really listening. It's more of a training ground, right?
Yeah.
And there's some excellent broadcasters at that time in a training ground. And she looked at me like this. But what would you talk about? Fashion, makeup. What would you talk about? Like, doesn't make sense to me. What would you talk about? And it was because of my youth. And it was because of this other part that was always in the spotlight. So, when you think of me, you think of a presenter who's like this all the time. But in fact, there was another part of me. And she literally said, what would you talk about? A small thing like you. What do you talk about?
What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, it
Your
must
Barbies?
be fashion.
Your My Little
Yes.
Ponies, little girl. Yeah. Okay, that's
So from being a young person, that came into mind.
Have you ever benefited
From being young? Absolutely. I think my whole career benefited from starting young.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I had skills way ahead of many of my colleagues. I had people who I'm very professional, so people like to work with me. I'm sure lots of things that I never saw.
I mean, have you ever forced the line? Like you can see there's a bunch of old heads in the waiting like line for this opportunity, and they were like, no, we need fresh blood, and then they put
No, I don't think so.
nothing like that.
No.
Okay.
But I did make a fake student card at one point so that I could physically follow the line to get into clubs. These are my
to get into
confessions.
clubs. I think you're gonna say Gold Reef. Nah, I just want to dance.
To get into clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. And then, have you ever felt discriminated against for being the elderly?
The elderly. I mean, I'm only elderly now recently, so we'll give it some time to really sink in. I can't really think of anything apart from an experience I had this week where these guys at my last appointment of the day had a parking spot like this, and then this guy was parked a little bit over the white line.
Okay.
So the parking spot seemed a little smaller. And they looked at me and they went, Sesi, which is the equivalent of Osi, which is the equivalent of ma'am, which is the equivalent of Tani. Sesi, you won't be able to park here. And it was like, you won't be able to park here. Others maybe. But if I'm looking at you, Sesi, Shem, go try somewhere else. And I went around to see if there was another parking, and there wasn't. And in my head, I was like, these people are just discriminating. I'm going to park there, and I hope they're standing there to watch me park. And I only reverse park. I went in there, I parked, and I sat and I looked at them for a bit, and I went to my appointment. Okay. So I don't know if that's just because I was a woman or if it's the sassy element. Okay. But yeah, little things like that, microaggressions like that happen all the time.
Okay, fair. That's time they're just turning to me. Hey, Cece, there's a better parking over here.
Maybe.
No, but I get you.
Maybe.
I get that. Okay.
You can tell the vibe of what a person's talking about.
1000% for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I've benefited from definitely being young.
Yeah.
In the comedy space.
Absolutely.
Because then there's always that thing of like, we want fresh perspectives. We want fresh new perspectives. Comedy, comedy is the older you get, the better your comedy is.
Okay.
But every time people are like, nah, we want new perspectives. We want young guys doing this thing. We want young women doing this thing. We want young people.
Which is absolutely crazy because comedy is a skill, yes, but it's an art form. And how do you get better at your art form? By doing your art form. Yeah. So it's nuts to discount people over a certain age, particularly if you think about dancing, acting. It's an art form, comedy. Yeah. I'm already defending you. Carry on with your story, excuse.
But that's always been an interesting thing where like, I felt like my youth is the reason why at times I got opportunities. Yes, cool. I'm working hard. I'm skilled at the thing. Like I'm doing it well. But there were always times where like you can see, nah, we need some young cats in this room. Yeah. Because it's just a bunch of old heads just, loving each other's inside jokes.
And so we're hearing a lot of the same opinions.
Same opinions, same perspectives.
And then you get into that room and what happens?
And then like, so the thing is, sometimes the joke is the same.
Okay.
But the reference point needs to be different. Where someone in one generation will be making like an AIDS joke and they'll use like Nkosi Johnson as the reference. My generation will use Charlie Sheen as the reference. Maybe actually someone even younger, but you get what I'm saying. Where it's
unfortunately,
just like,
I do.
It's that thing of like your reference points just to make people understand the community. Like
you'll mention a musician and it'll go over my head. I'll mention a musician in a room and everyone's like, yeah, vele. Like, so it's reference points.
Yeah, like if I make a joke about like staying up all day or whatever, and then I would say, what am I, Tyson at? And then for you, it's,
now I must go home, Google this person, learn about why they stay at home late. Or do they wake up early? I can't even remember.
He's a streamer that streams for 24 hours all the time. So he's
I know that guy.
You do, yeah. But it's that thing of like,
Who did he have streaming with him? Nicki Minaj.
yo, everyone.
Oh,
And they had
everyone goes.
Nicki Minaj, John Cena, the Migos,
Okay.
Jesus Christ, all of everyone. Buddha's he's coming.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
He's on the list.
It's just a couple of streams away.
So I just want to apologize to you.
Why?
Because last week we had put me on and you talked about a specific show
Ish.
and I don't know if we made a pinky promise.
Made a promise on camera.
Yeah, but I don't know if we made a promise, you know, that like blood to blood.
Mm-hmm. No, we couldn't have. Because I knew, even when you were making the promise, I was like, you don't deserve my pinky. Not right now. I want to see you watch one episode.
So, okay.
But then Jake Paul just took over your whole weekend.
Sean Paul is always there. I apologize. I didn't get to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't watch my previous recommendation. My previous put me on.
Yes.
Put me on.
You
something.
put me on, bro.
Put me on, sis. Put me on.
Put me on.
I said, put me on to Arcane.
Yeah.
Which is one of like the dopest
It
shows.
looks so good.
It is fantastic.
In my own defense, I just haven't had time.
And so I found out they're only gonna make 2 seasons.
So this is it.
So this season that's about to end, they're gonna
Yeah.
drop the next 3 episodes this week.
Yeah.
The last 3 episodes this week, and then it's done. So again, if you have the gall,
I have the goal.
the coolness,
I have kahunas.
it will be dope if you watch Arcane.
Yeah.
But if you can't do that, a better put me on for this week is Dochi. She has like she has my entire phone. It's between her, Tyler, the creator. It's like her and Tyler, the creator, are the only people I'll be playing this week.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that she's on his album as well. So it's
Right.
pretty much her this entire week.
We spoke about her when we spoke about Grammy nominations.
Yes, she's one of the only black female artists that have been like nominated this year. I don't actually know. I'm lying. She's one of the only black female rappers or only rapper
Yeah.
that's been nominated for some of the bigger categories outside of rap. So I really hope she wins everything that she's nominated for.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
She's so dope, and her album that I would suggest is Alligator Bites Never Heal. There's a lot of syllables. I understand it sounds long, but it's only 4 words. Alligator Bites
True.
Never Heal.
Do they though? Okay, that's not the point. Carry on. Yes.
I'm not Florida, man. They ask you that, like, yeah, the last time I got bit by an alligator, like, no, I don't know.
Still eating to this
Yeah,
day.
these fucking alligators, huh?
Okay, got you.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Yeah, so Alligator Bites Never Heal by Dochi. If you have Spotify,
Yeah?
that's what I did there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go check her out because the
Stream, download, do
album,
it.
amazing.
I love it.
Yes.
Mine might not necessarily be for you,
Okay.
but it is for all of us who learned to do our own nails during, what did you call it? The 20s. And essentially, I've been doing my own nails with my own gel finish, with the soft nails, whatever it is, so I can change them anytime. But what I've learned over this last week is that you must always have a backup set of nails in your handbag.
Uh-huh.
A backup, just something that can fit with the polish.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't have to be exactly the same. A backup with a backup glue in your handbag, no matter what happens. Because today I broke a nail and I had no backup. And so I had to go into a store and purchase. I mean, I love gold. So now I'm Goldfinger. And I had to put it in my bag, and that's where it's at.
My whole thing is, why can't you put me on? Why are you only putting our audience on?
I can't put you on nails.
You know what I don't like? It's because you like misgendering me. That's your problem.
Okay,
You want to be woke so badly, but you can't. You're stuck in a time.
These are the worst insults a person can ever get in 2024. The worst. You are unwoke. Imagine you are misgendering me. I'd rather fight Mike Tyson in the ring than being insulted like that. I apologize to all those who feel that I've done that
No
to
shame.
Khaba and Moloi.
No shame. She's very woke and she's never misgendered me this week.
So, I mean, you've had pedicures. This week we went for pedicures.
You actually have put me on some of the best experiences in terms of
Yeah.
like my nails. Because I struggle with my nails.
And you're
'cause
doing so well, by the way.
right now, I don't know.
Okay.
My anxiety has been hitting a little harder.
But you were biting. And
yeah,
now
I've
you've
always
moved.
been a biter, and my fingernails haven't always. I have pretty toenails though, but you put me onto some of the massages
Yes.
that like for my feet.
We
and,
love
like,
pedicures.
and yeah, no,
Lovely.
shout outs.
Those nice ones where the fish come and eat you. Ah, it's delicious.
You've put me to fish. You brought me to fish.
Yeah, so you put your feet in and then they're pedicure fish. They were raised to clean feet.
Imagine that's like all that you were raised for.
Yeah.
Have you seen the B movie?
Yes.
You get one job for your entire life.
Exactly.
And your entire life is just to chow other people's feet.
You know, Mom always called that the BEE movie. And we just let her.
And with all that BEES, that seems like it's, the end of the episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Daddy Spotify, once again. For always making our lives, putting a big smile on our faces. And I had fun. My name is Khabani Moloi.
My name is Bobby Moloi.
And this is a brother
and a sister
podcast.